welcome back to my channel. So if you can't tell by the title, today I'm doing pregnant at 16, and this is my story. So basically I've written down like notes and things because I thought about my story and I really want to get into a lot of detail for you guys. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my book as well. But I'll try and keep eye contact and talk to you guys as much as possible. Tell you guys that I'm still with the baby daddy, like we're still together, very happy, and yeah. And my brother's name is Josh, and so is my boyfriend, so we call my brother Smitty. So if you hear me saying Smitty, just know that's my brother, and Sasha is my best friend. So basically Josh and I started dating and a couple months went by. We were young and dumb and just didn't think of consequences at all. And a few months went by and my period just stopped. But I did not think much about it because I did get my period really weirdly. Like sometimes it would come straight away. Sometimes it would come a time late. Sometimes I wouldn't get it for another 3 months. So knowing me, I was just like, no, I'm not pregnant. Anyways, so I decided to do a urine test just to be sure. And that came back negative, which was really weird. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not pregnant. Maybe period's just not coming this week, this month, who knows. Anyways, a few days later, I started getting really bad pains in my ovaries, and I was like, this is really weird. So I decided to get another test, and that also came back negative as well. And I was at the point where I was like, no way, like I'm not pregnant, you know? Because I've done 2 tests and they've both come back negative, but mind you, I did both these tests within a week apart, so yeah. Anyways, those pains weren't going away, so I bought 3 more tests and those tests all came back negative as well. So anyways, one day I was at the shops with a couple of friends and one of my friends happened to be pregnant. And I told her like, oh look, I'm getting these pains, I haven't gotten my period in a really long time, so I'm just worried, like what do I do? And she told me what she did when she found out. She did a pregnancy urine test in the morning, so as soon as she woke up. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll give that a go. So I bought a pregnancy test and I did it the next morning, and that came back positive. And I was so scared to tell Josh, my boyfriend. I was so scared to tell him. He was on the bed like laying down asleep and I had the test in my hand. I was like, oh my god, do I give it to him or like what do I do? So I just chucked it at him and I stood back, like I was so scared. I waited for him and I had to wake him up because he's a really heavy sleeper. Anyway, so I wake him up and he's like, what? And I was like, look next to you. And then he saw the test and he just looks at me. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. So basically we both talked about it and we were like, we'll do a blood test, like we'll get the proper results, you know? And that day we were at the shops just like looking at clothes, baby clothes and stuff, just like thinking, we can do this, like, you know, we got this, we're in it together, we're not breaking up, and if we do break up then he's still going to be in the kid's life. Like I've already spoken about what will happen if, you know, anything happens. Anyways, that day I was in the reject shop actually and I was so excited, and I told my friend Angelina, like she was the first one to know. I was like, oh my god, I could be pregnant, like I did the pregnancy test, but I'm going for a blood test tomorrow. And she was so excited. And we're walking out of the shops and my boyfriend was with her brother and we both just came out smiling, like we didn't even realise. And my boyfriend and Josh was like, oh, you told her? And then I'm like, because he didn't want to tell anyone at first till it was official. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I already told her brother. And we just looked at each other and just started laughing, like planning everything. We were super excited. And then the next day came and we went to get a blood test. So I got a blood test and the doctor said, you need to wait a day because the results don't come back straight away. So Josh and I waited patiently, and at this time we didn't live with my mum because we were so scared. Like as soon as the test came up positive, we decided to move into a house, like this little apartment where Josh's mum lives. So we lived there, and she didn't know I was pregnant at the time either. Like, no one knew except Angelina and her brother. And then I went to the doctors, got the test, and then they said come back the next day. And I was on the phone to Sasha because she was not in Sydney when we went to Sydney at the time. And she was so excited. She's like, can you tell me the results straight away? I was like, I will. And yeah. So the day after that, the results came back. And Josh and I were just sitting down, waiting for the doctor to call out our names. And then he calls my name out, and we finally go into the room and get the result back. And basically, the result came back positive that I was pregnant. And I was 5 weeks pregnant at the time. And I had no idea. Like, I thought I did. I thought I knew, but like, you know, the tests kept coming up negative. So that one day, you know, I thought it was a fluke. Who knows? Anyways, so the doctor was just telling me all these things, like questions, everything. And I was just like so blank. Like, it just seemed more real. 5 weeks pregnant. I had no idea. And I was just so nervous and in shock. And I look over to Josh, and he like smiles at me, but he's in shock too, because we weren't expecting it, but we were. Like, we knew there was consequences, so, you know. Anyways, so the doctor was telling me, she gave me this list, and on the list it said like everything I had to do. So at 10 weeks I had to get an ultrasound, 20 weeks get an ultrasound, all these things of getting an ultrasound, and all these injections. And I am petrified of needles, blood tests, injections, everything. I was so scared. But anyways, I looked at Josh and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for him. I'm going to do this for each other. Like, we got each other's back, you know? Like, he's always going to be there for me, and I'm always going to be there for him. So, yeah. So, now I'm 10 weeks pregnant, and I got my first ultrasound. And Josh and I were, like, really nervous because, yeah, we just weren't sure what to expect. Anyways, we saw our baby for the first time, and honestly, that was like the best moment in my life. Like, just seeing how small he was and just looking at him and hearing his heartbeat was just so amazing. And like, you're never gonna get that experience again unless you have another kid, but it was just so real. Like, I've never been on ultrasound, I've never been around babies before, and my heart was so warmed. And I look over at Josh and he started tearing up. Like, he always denies it, but I saw him and I remember him tearing up. It's just such a cute, sweet moment that you're never gonna get that back. Anyways, so I started to post pictures of the ultrasound, and just because I was so excited, so happy, and all my friends knew. And just then it started to get harder because I was just getting so much hate, but then I was also getting so much support. Like, people were hating on me, calling me names, calling me things, but thankfully I had my friends and my brother and just, you know, all the good support. That's what I focused on. I didn't focus on any of the negatives. Then I got to 3 months pregnant, and I still hadn't told my mum. And I was like, okay, I really need to tell her, but I'm super scared. So I call up my mum and I'm like, Mum, I have something to tell you. And she goes, Maddie, I've heard rumours, I've heard things that you're pregnant. Is this true? And I was like, yes, it is true. And she goes, okay, can we meet up and speak about it? Because I haven't spoken to my mum since that day. And I met up with her, and she just told me, look, Maddie, it's up to you what you do. Like, I'm obviously going to support you, but I just think you have more to do with your life. You should be in, like, go to school, get a job, just really focus on your career. And I told her, I was like, I can still do that, but I'm having this kid, like, no matter what. Like, it's my baby. Now that I've seen the photos, now that I've just seen everything, you know, it's my baby. I'm not going to get rid of him. And she said, okay, I support your decision, just please come home. Like, I'm really worried, and I want you to be eating good meals, and just make sure that I can watch you, make sure you're safe and everything. So Josh and I decided to move back with my mom, and it just was so good. And that night I had butter chicken from my mum. So my mum made butter chicken and I literally vomited it all up. It was the worst. So baby boy does not like butter chicken, but thankfully I had Josh and he was holding my hair back, had the bucket, like he was just being so helpful, getting me ice cold water and frozen pineapple, because that's literally all I could eat. Like I did not want anything. All I wanted was frozen pineapple. So he was just getting me everything. Like he was literally the best. And that lasted for about 3 days, and I was like, it's not morning sickness, you know. And then it got to 4 months. So when I was about 4 months pregnant, my mom's job got moved. So we ended up moving to Queensland, which is where we are now. And it was very sad for us all moving to Queensland, my brother, Sasha and Josh. Like we all were so like sad to leave our friends, but we thought this is a good start for all of us, good start for the baby, and just everything. It's just gonna be good, you know. Anyways, so obviously I had to tell Josh about moving, and he ended up moving with us, which I was so thankful for. And now he works 3 hours away, so I only see him on the weekends at the moment because he is working to get money for me and our baby, and we're just trying to start our family. So he works so far away and I don't really get to see him, but when I do see him, he's so helpful and he's so engaged, and it's just really good. Okay, so then I was now moving forward to 5 months pregnant. I went to the doctors the first time in Queensland to get a referral to get an ultrasound, and we got the referral, and next door happened to be the ultrasound place. So we got so we tried to book an ultrasound, and they said come back when you're 21 weeks pregnant because it'll be more accurate and you'll definitely know the gender. So we came back a few weeks later. Like it literally took so long to find out when the gender was, and we found out the gender. Anyways, the day came to the 21-week ultrasound, and Josh and I were looking at our baby, seeing his heartbeat. It's just so beautiful. And as the lady, Josh said he kept hearing the lady say she kept saying, oh, her heartbeat, or like she's beautiful. Like he kept hearing that. I didn't hear it. I didn't realize. I was just so hot in the room. Like when you're pregnant, you literally get hot so easily. Like I literally keep icy cold water on me 24/7 because I'm always hot and uncomfortable. Anyways, she finally told us the gender, that it was a baby boy.
Put the balloon up. That's it.
3, 2, 1.
It's a boy!
Then we get home to tell Smitty and Sasha, and we didn't tell them straight away, but I was so happy. Like I wanted a girl, but I also wanted a boy, but I don't know, I was happy with whatever, and Josh really wanted a boy. So he was sitting down on the couch trying not to smile, and I was just like walking around. I was holding the ultrasound. Like I literally did not take it away. Like I took it in the bathroom, like I just took it everywhere, you know. Anyways, so we're sitting down and Josh and Sasha are looking at us, and like I'm just so happy. Like I could not stop smiling. Josh was trying to keep a straight face, and anyways they were like, it's a boy, and we're like like you'll see. And anyways, eventually we told them it was a boy, and Sasha and I ran, like not run, we went to the shops to get stuff for the gender reveal. So basically we got a black balloon so no one could tell like what it was, and then we had to find glitter. There's literally glitter nowhere. So Sasha and I were at the front of Coles, and then this lady sees like we're wanting to go to the reject shop because we did not know where the closest reject shop was, and she's like, oh, I'll give you guys a lift to the reject shop, like it's not that far, it's right near where I live. I'm like, okay, like that's right. So we got in the car and she drove us to the reject shop, and it was like the longest walk back. Like we're not walking back. So anyways, we get the glitter, the blue glitter, and we decided, we're like, no, we're not walking back. So we got an Uber home because like the walk was being pregnant. I could not walk that far. It was like an hour and a half walk. Like, what the hell? Anyways, a couple weeks later, I got my first midwife appointment, and we heard the baby's heartbeat. And she felt my stomach, and she's like, your baby's really big. And I was like, okay, like, what does that mean? And she's like, oh, he's gonna be a big baby. And then she kept feeling my stomach, and she's like, something's not right. And I was freaking out for a second. I was like, what do you mean nothing's not right? Like, something's not right. And then she said that my baby is breech. And I was like, what's breech? Like, what's a breech baby? And basically, a breech baby is when he's upside down. So his head is where his bum should be. So normally when you have a baby, their head has to be facing down to give natural birth. But my baby is not facing down. That's where his feet is. And basically, if your baby does not flip, you have to get a C-section. So I was like, okay, like, I can do it for C-section. But I really wanted to give natural. Like, I really want to give natural birth. So they're like to me, yeah, he can obviously flip. Like, we could be saying you have a C-section at 39 weeks, but he could flip within that time, the day before even. So I was like, okay, so I still have time to flip. So I did all these, so I've been doing all these exercises. Check out my video, because I have made a video on a breech baby and everything, so that will explain more. Anyways, I'm 33 weeks pregnant now, and I'm just decided to film this video. I might do an updated one when the baby's born, but for now, this is the video, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. But yeah, please like, subscribe, and comment. Bye!